I came across another article on Business Insider about a man who's secretly about to make 800K, but he having people secretly work for him. A Gen Xer's plan, really? That made me mad. A Gen Xer's plan to earn 800K this year across 6 remote jobs, hiring people to be him.
Yeah, they cracking down on that bad.
Hey, this one of the reasons why people got to go back into the office because they ain't doing it the right way.
Don't blame it on that.
I sure hate
Oh.
that.
I'm telling you.
No, it's the main reason, 100%. I talk to recruiters like all the time, and they say it's that, and because they're giving away laptops, they're giving away their identity. So now they're making people show their IDs on the interview. Exactly.
Like, yeah, they go back to the laptop forums with the North Korea people. When I was back at Optiv, they hired a dude that they thought was somebody to interview, but it wasn't them. When the real person got the job, they couldn't do it. Like, this been happening.
Yes, a mess.
Like 2020 and 2022, like that was a wild time. Let me see. All right, here we go. For Harrison, juggling 6 remote tech jobs means occasionally being double booked for a meeting. His solution? Pay someone to pretend to be him. My person knows the updates and kind of sounds like me, Harrison said, adding that his meeting typically didn't require him to be on camera. Harrison's identity was verified by Business Insider, but he asked to use a pseudonym, citing a fear of professional repercussions. Harrison, who's a quality assurance professional, quality assurance, Justice.
QA.
In the IT sector, has built a team of 7 workers who are helping. He must have took that course.
No comment.
He has built a team of 7 workers who are helping him secretly hold multiple full-time jobs simultaneously. If his employment situation stays the same, he expects to earn $800,000 this year and pay his team about $250,000. His rate is about $25 to $30 an hour. This is set to be Harrison's 5th year using this model to maximize his income. In 2023, he had 6 U.S.-based full-time remote jobs, 3 as a W-2 employee and 3 as a consultant, earning roughly $470,000. According to earning documents, he estimated that after paying his workers, he profited about $320,000. In 2024, he said he had as many as 9 jobs simultaneously, estimating that he earned more than $500,000 after paying his workers. He'll know more definitively once his taxes are completed. You see, this I don't know what his race is, but one thing's for sure is we just gonna say in this instance, niggas gonna need it because like 9 jobs, my boy.
9 is crazy.
Yeah, that's tough.
Is this a reason for you? Is this a reason for you to call a cause for you to be like audited?
Possibly. And when you think about it, so if he made,
or is it like unlimited? Like you can have 50 jobs. Because that sounds crazy, right?
No, you only supposed to have 2 legal W-2 gigs. Legal.
Really?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
If you read your contracts from your company, they only allow you to do 2. Now, if you are, say, for example, a company don't have a non-compete, then you can do as many as you want. But if you're already working as a W-2, you're only allowed to have 2 W-2s legally. Anything after that, they can sue you and make sure you don't ever work again in life.
But how would they know?
How would they know? They're gonna know.
Did I ever tell you about a story where I had a mentee? She was working 3, and the reason why she was doing that, I guess she was like lacking in her job, and the job was like something's off. So they did a random background check. All you gotta do is pay an extra $50 to see where you working at. Yeah, and they can get all your jobs on your social.
So as long as you tie your social security number to stuff, it's easy.
Yeah, they can find everything.
Yeah.
Hey,
and I got one guy. He said he has it where he took all his jobs off his social. Don't know how he did it, but he's like, I can't get caught. I took all my jobs off the social. I got my information off the internet. It's not on the internet. But it's like if you have something crazy happen, or like say for example, you on a VPN and you need to get on a computer to do something else on another computer, you're still gonna get caught. Like
yeah, your ISP still knows that you connected to a VPN.
Yeah, like you're still gonna get caught. Like they don't be thinking. So yeah, you can lose all your jobs. Especially that's why I tell everybody read the non-competes on your contracts because in the fine print they have it where look you can't work for our competitor for at least like about 12 months or 24 months or however long. And if they find out even after you left that job and you're working with a competitor, they're still suing you.
Yeah. Hey, funny thing is, I got another reason how they might try to catch you, see what you got going on. I'm gonna bring it up once I finish the articles because it's really about justice.
Okay.
Where we at?
Let me go
I
find
used to be nervous about the boss losing in the stock market, bills, kids, tuition. He said the big difference of having more jobs is I'm less nervous because if something doesn't go well, it's not going to kill me. And see, this is where people get caught because everybody got the jobs they like the most and the jobs they don't really care about. And that's when the stuff starts slacking and then people be noticing like what's going on. BI has interviewed more than 2 dozen overemployed workers who have secretly held multiple jobs to boost their incomes and job security. But Harrison is among an even smaller group of job jugglers who have hired people to do some or most of their work, a trend facilitated by the remote work revolution, globalized social networks, and growing access to software tools that make outsourcing one's job possible. To be sure, holding multiple jobs without employer approval could have professional repercussions and lead to burnout. Additionally, return to office mandates and hiring slowdown in white collar industries have made it harder to land remote roles. 4 employees for work tasks, 2 more for finding new jobs. He got a whole little system down. Around 2018, Harrison began working 2 remote jobs. When the pandemic hit and remote roles became abundant, he started secretly juggling a third and fourth. The workload soon became unmanageable, so he used freelance platforms like Upwork to find qualified people he could trust to take on his work tasks. After interviewing many candidates, Harrison gradually built a team, the members of which he calls employees, and took on more jobs. His workers are in the US, Canada, India, and Pakistan. Upwork told BI that violating an employer agreement was against the company's policy and that it would take action if a violation was explicitly stated in the platform job posting. Harrison spent most of his days attending work meetings and reviewing his team's work, which he said added up to about 40 hours a week. 4 of his employees complete his work duties while another, his brother, they going to jail, helps manage the operation there for meetings. He's out of work, so I'm able to help him out. Harrison, who's in his 50s, said of employing his brother-in-law. Probably the best thing I've ever done. Occasionally, he gets laid off from a job or a consulting gig contract isn't extended, he said. So to sustain and grow his operation, 2 separate employees apply for jobs on his behalf. He handles the interviews, but in recent months, it's become harder for Harrison to land new remote jobs. This video is being sponsored by Textual Consulting. Are you still struggling to get into cybersecurity? Are you not getting interviews? Do you have a bad resume? Or is it all the above? Well, if that's you, then we got you covered at Textual Consulting. My name is Henri Davis. I'm a career coach and a cybersecurity professional, and I've helped hundreds, maybe even thousands of people get into cybersecurity with my coaching and my content that you've seen in various places. Now, I specialize in specifically getting people in the blue team. That would be incident response or SOC analyst. I can cover everything from your entry level to your medium to your advanced skills and really help you outperform your resume. You don't believe me? Check out some of these testimonials that I've had from recent clients. So if you're interested, click the link in my bio, textualconsulting.com/offerings to see what offerings that we have available for you. Now, back to the show. Yeah, they cracking down, bucko.
Yeah, it's back in office, and they paying more for back in office.
Definitely cracking down. You know, you reading this, you know, if anybody's seen American Gangster with Denzel Washington,
Yes.
this is exactly what it's reminded me of. Just that, because this dude is an OG for real. Like, I don't know who he is, but you got your family in on this too.
Yeah. He said going to jail.
It reminds me of a case I looked at where someone was doing like some insider training, obviously, or insider training with their family. Like when they weren't supposed to be buying stocks, they were like, "Hey, it's gonna hit this for this much, so you go ahead and take it out." And it was like a wife, a husband, brother-in-law, dad, the whole family was involved, and they
So they all got
down.
charged?
They all got charged.
Oof.
So Bob says, "Is no competition illegal since last April?" There's some technicalities to that no competition or the no compete thing, right?
Oh, I do remember that did come out. I do remember it did, but I didn't dive into it.
I think it's by states. I can't remember it. I know certain states are doing it, certain states are not.
Right.
So I know in Texas, like I know with Texas, you can have. I think you can have more than two W-2s, but it just depends on your state. So like that's what I'm saying, right? Like it depends on where you live at and what your state laws are.
Yeah, this is all new.
Yeah, like it really just depends on your location. So like with Texas, even like say for example, you have your corp to corp, right? and you're like, look, I got like about 5 contracts under my corp and their competitors. Certain companies can't say anything if it's not in their non-compete or if it's not like in a certain state law.
So I still don't understand. Like, how will they find out?
So with the corporate to court, it don't matter because you're your own business, your own S corp LLC. So they can't tell you what to do because it's your business. But it does matter when you're W-2 because you're having an agreement with the company and you as an employee. So they feel, okay, cool. Well, if you're working with us, that means you're sharing our information with our competitor, which means we can't trust you, so we need to let you go. And honestly, companies have a right to do as they will because, you know, they're just companies. But most of the times they do end up finding out and sometimes they don't. Companies only, so like I tell everybody, they only find out really if you lacking or you slacking on your job. And 2, they feel like you got too much praise or something going on. Somebody in the company gonna find something on you and snitch and find it out. I see it happen all the time. If you got a hater in the company, they're gonna look up, see what you're doing, and then give out the information to whoever your higher up is. But if you're not being consistent on your job and say you're doing all these jobs and you're stacking and you're like slipping one little time, then they're gonna be on you after that. So it really like you're playing a dangerous game. It's like either you're gonna take the risk,
So-
or you take the risk. It's like, okay, cool. Now maybe.
So this definitely isn't for a slacker. This
Yeah,
is
you
for a
can't even-
high performer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think you should get like a no-brainer job, something that you can just breeze by with.
Like QAs, for example, QAs, they don't have to be in meetings like that. They literally on the computer. It's an introverted role, and like I tell some people, you got to look for roles that either introvert or extroverted. If you have an extroverted role, you cannot be out here stacking or taking on multiple contracts. It's not gonna happen. Like project managers, business analysts. Well, business analyst can depend on the client, but like project managers, anything that's client facing, you cannot do it. Now, if you got a role where you're strictly on the computer, you probably got 1 or 2 meetings here and there, then it may be possible.
Yeah, you got to work around your schedules or your meetings. But let me get back to this. Let's see what else is talking about so we can educate the people. Because I'll be dealing with these clients and they'll come to me for something they heard on Instagram or X and be like, "Yeah, I'm new. I'm trying to get in cyber. I want to get 2 jobs." I'm like, "Fam, you just need to get good at 1 job first before you try to do 2."
Yeah.
No, for real.
Hey, it's hard to get one job.
The technicalities of overemployment. Harrison is a U.S. citizen but lives abroad most of the year and uses a VPN with a U.S. location. His outsourcing operation is possible because software tools like Zoom, TeamViewer, and UltraViewer. So I can go ahead and say he must be at some smaller companies.
It's giving
A lot of companies don't even allow these tools.
That part.
Because they already know malicious and suspicious stuff happens with them. Anytime you see it, we used to have a rule just if we seen TeamViewer or something used. We're like, yo, what you using TeamViewer for?
Shoot, Microsoft Teams another C2.
Yeah, they found some workarounds over that, like what the people was doing with that, acting like that was IT support. And some other stuff.
Microsoft Teams, shoot, you can do a whole lot of data exfiltration with that. So hey, it don't matter. Whatever type of support tools now can be used for whatever.
He said that he tried to pair employees with a single job, but that some were working on 2 simultaneously. As far as Harrison knows, none of his employees have suspected his job juggling. He'll occasionally be asked a question about an employee's work and won't have an answer, but he can stall until that person updates him. Looking ahead, Harrison plans to keep up his job juggling for the foreseeable future because he doesn't think he has enough savings to retire. He said having about 6 jobs seems to be the sweet spot because he could significantly boost his earnings and job security without working too many hours. And if things become too overwhelming, he can always drop a job. When you're unemployed, the first job that comes around, you've got to take. And he said, I've kind of had the ability to choose what I get into.
Man,
He going off.
I mess with it, but at the same time, it's just so much going on.
I don't recommend.
Wait,
I don't
he's
recommend
trying
it
to.
either.
What type of lifestyle is he living?
Right.
He's staying abroad.
Oh,
But the thing is, so when you work abroad, you got to let your security team know how long you're going to be there or you just live over there because they're going to, okay, when you come back to the U.S. or whatever, they're going to like look for them exceptions. Then they're going to get suspicious, like, why are you over there so long? And I know this because weekly, we look at these remote worker reports and where they be at and where they say how long they're going to be at, where they was at. But two things. Want to
No.
welcome Mr. ECA to the building, Mr. Kenneth Ellington,
Yes, sir.
my Aries brethren. Birthday is
What's up?
right after mine.
Hey, Henri, can I ask about that point that you just made? Can the security team tell, like, let's say you're supposed to be living in the same state, but you work remote, but then you like move to another state? Do they say, okay, well, we know exactly where you are, move back?
Nah, that's an HR thing. Like if
Okay.
like you moved or whatever, like it's something you're gonna have to clear with HR. I mean, if you're still in the US, it ain't that big of a deal, to be honest.
Okay.
Like it ain't that big of a deal.
They can trace your location. Well, not actually trace your location, but
Nah,
they have access to your.
we can see like where they logged in from.
Yeah.
So even if you're on a VPN, the VPN gonna say one thing, but it's gonna tell us exactly where you was, unless you try to use another VPN, which they probably not gonna go for. But I also want to be funny and say another way you can get caught. I ain't gonna say get caught slipping, like you like job juggling or whatever.